in the time when Cosmo was a baby and we were still in the Bahamas and preparing for non-sex monk rock. It was also a very creative time, and that non-sex monk rock album is probably also that's why for that reason so strong, because we had so much really good time to prepare for it and to feel free to really do it. And then when we were in New York, Green Street Studio, we had Chris Spedding, one of my favorite guitar players, and other people who helped a lot. And also the producer, Mike Thorne, was wonderful because he helped me to realize my ideas and didn't want to make it too slick. And then, of course, CBS Records was, oh my God, this is not commercial at all.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
So what? We're young people. We don't have to be commercial. What is commercial? Commercial is something which sells good. They should have just made a bigger promotion for it, and then we would have maybe sold a couple more. Whatever. Never mind.
But if I can say, looking at the first two albums, and we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? First two albums to non-sex monk rock, it's like you just exploded creativity. Well, this is just a fan saying this, but it's just a complete kind of explosion of creativity from what you were doing with your voice, even on the first to the third album. Did it feel like that? Did it feel like you'd really?
Yeah, I felt so more than free because I was a mother of a messiah. Now, a female messiah. And my daughter is an absolute messiah. Plus, she is a very wonderful actress also.
Yes. How did that period seg into Fearless?
Well...
Because it was a kind of a radical change of sound, in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, every song gets what it deserves. And it was another time frame, and we were just having the same fun writing and creating and producing the songs than ever before. But I guess it was another producer, another approach of the producers, but we had much fun recording it in Giorgio Moroder's studio in his posh mansion in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. With Keith Forsey, who did the main production. Mm-hmm. Giorgio Moroder was just overlooking it.
Oh, really? So...
Yeah. Giorgio Moroder had his people and, and then he just put his name on it. It's probably also like many other producers, I guess. They have their creative people who are doing it for him, and because he's so rich, he's the employee, and then he has those people doing the grand work, and he puts his name. It happens a lot.
And would it be right to say that was kind of a very, as CBS would have put it, commercial album?
I don't know. Maybe I was always a little bit too uneasy or too wild, or I don't know what. I was never mainstream commercial. But we did enter some kind of charts with a couple of songs, with New York, and Zara. And we did have some airplay, and I was young, but I'm still young. When you're 50 years old, it's a total mistake of society to think that when a woman or a man or an actor or an artist or whatever is 50, there is also 19-year-old people, and they gave up on creativity, and they gave up on freedom, and they kind of look old.
Absolutely.
Let's see. But I would never do the work just to have a commercial success. If a commercial success happens, then yeah, great. But if not, then at least it's art from the heart of the artist, and I could not produce any fabricated art which, like a painter, and they say, oh, please don't paint like this, paint like this. It's not possible, you know.
You mentioned, you kind of touched on that maybe a lot of society thinks of you as being wild and so forth.
Yeah.
And you know, you've kind of celebrated, so to speak, being a freak on various songs. Is that something? I mean, you know, you've stood up and you've done exactly, or to us, it looks like you've just been who you are in the face of, well, from the beginning on the TV show, in the face of people trying to stop you. I mean, how does that feel now at this point in your life, looking back at that? And
Great. It's very interesting. It will be also still interesting for generations to come to see what I've done. It's totally creative and wonderful. It has probably nothing to do with pop music, because pop is popular only for a time frame. But most of my work will stand out for eternity, because it's real art. Yeah, not all of it, but most of it.
are there any favorites, or do the favorites change?
Yes, they change, because when we do live concerts these days, we do all sorts of songs, old songs, new songs, middle-aged songs, updates, old songs but updated.
I can't remember if Punk Wedding came before or after Ecstasy. Was it?
I think it came after. Yeah, after.
Okay, so let's do Ecstasy first.
Okay.
The period around that album, how was that?
Well, it was a producer called Adam Kidron, and he kind of once had a car accident, and he said that he doesn't feel anything in his arm anymore, and he was pulling the knobs on the mixing desk. So that was like a big thing for me, that my producer couldn't feel anything in his arm. I can never imagine, and I didn't want to believe this. I said, just don't believe it anymore. Just come on. More I can't remember from that production. No, I'm just kidding. His name was Kidron. We did it in Ibiza in a studio, maybe also in another studio for a while. My guitar player, Bill Liesegan, was with it. I think Karl Racker was still there too. And it was, the album.
The Universal Radio was a hit, wasn't it?
Well, not really. I never really had a hit. Maybe it was a little hit. But in Universal Radio, I it's not my lyrics. It's a co-writing. I co-wrote it with Dumas, a poet from America, a Jewish American poet, and I don't really think the song is musically very interesting. It could have been done much more different. I remember that I wanted to sing differently on it, and they said to me I should sing like a sexy woman, and then I tried, and somehow...
You always sing like a sexy woman.
Yeah,
what are they talking
like,
about?
Thank you, young man. But no, but they said I should use like a mishy vishy washy voice, not the voice I would use when I sing live, and that is a mistake. To do a song in a studio in a different way than you would do it live, that is a mistake. That is not authentic, and it wasn't a hit anyway. So I was right again.